Well, the sun's coming up in Lisbon and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful January day here in Portugal. And I'm on my way later today down to Faro. However, I've got some time this morning, and rather than stay in Lisbon, I thought, how's about doing a little ride out, walk back? So I'm going to go down to the station now, just a short walk from here, and pick up a train to Cascais, and from there we're going to walk back along the coast of Estoril and have a look at what we can see, and well, you know, have a nice morning's walk. So yeah, let's get down the station and see how it goes. Well, when I mentioned I'd be in Lisbon, one or two of you said to check out the trams, so here's one. But seriously, this has been a flying visit and I don't have time to do them justice, so it will just have to remain on the list. A list actually which Arthur Townsend kindly provided in my comments thread. Thanks, Arthur. And whilst I'm mentioning comments, Ernest Bailey commented on my previous Portugal trip that he went on this line to Cascais, so this one is definitely for him. But first up, we have to negotiate this roundabout, and also I'm reminded that trams can come at you from both directions. Honestly, I very nearly stepped out there. The line from Cascais arrived here in 1895, but this station dates from 1928, and what an Art Deco beauty this facade is. The reliefs on either side with the mosaic winged wheels are a delight. And the view inside is just as lovely. Although the main part of the station concourse isn't quite as lovely, which I suppose is a shame. As we walk through, the stairs lead down there to the metro. And as it's a commuter station, there's automatic barriers here, so I'll have to get the official on duty to let me through with my Interrail ticket. Our front unit here is 3261, which is part of the Class 3250 series of EMUs. These were originally built as Class 3200 way back in 1959 and then extensively rebuilt in 1998. So before we hop on, let's look at this train's route for today. We'll head out westbound through Lisbon with a first stop at Alcantara, and then we will continue past the Monument of the Discoveries to Algues. And then there's lots more stops along the coast through Estoril until the service terminates at Cascais. This little tourist and commuter line is just 26 kilometres or 16 miles long, and it will take us 33 minutes to go all the way from one end to the other. Now let's get on board, and the interior, well, it's pretty Spartan with a kind of New York City subway aesthetic. And off we go as the Lisbon waterfront basks under this morning sun. And judging from the map, Alcantara is where the cruise ships coming into Lisbon now dock. And shortly after the station we pass under the 25th of April Bridge, so named to commemorate the 1974 revolution that swept away the authoritarian state that had ruled Portugal since 1933. Next up, the train affords us a view of the Monument of Discoveries, the architect being none other than the nephew of the guy that designed that beautiful terminus station that we just left. And beyond Algues things get a lot more seasidey, and I think you could walk the whole coastline all the way to Cascais from here. And our train is not stopping at all the intermediate stations on the line, especially the ones that are closer to Lisbon. And there now seems to be little sandy bays around every turn. Carcavelos seems to be a place where trains are stabled when they're not working, and it certainly is a major station for this line. I'm also noticing some nice housing. I think it must be quite a desirable area along here. Estoril looks to be a lovely place, and Estoril station itself has a cracking view from the platforms. I'm guessing I will be walking down there quite soon. This is indeed a lovely day for a walk, and the sea looks so beautiful today. And here we are. Our very full morning train is ready to disgorge its passengers into Cascais. What a pretty little run that was. And as I take these final shots of the train, it begins to dawn on me that there are automatic barriers here as well, but they are completely unstaffed. I may be trapped on the platform. Well, I did finally make my escape after 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll tell you about it when we get to the beach. Meanwhile, this is a lovely little station with a staff ticket office and what looks like some connecting buses. Right, let's get down to the beach. But not before we have to negotiate some lovely streets complete with the typical Portuguese paving design that frankly makes me feel quite a bit giddy. Anyway, I found some steps down, and I think we need to walk on the sand so we know we're definitely at the seaside. Yep, this will do very nicely indeed. And so we're here at the beach at Cascais, and it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? It's a really lovely morning, and I'm really going to look forward to this walk along the bay. I did notice that that particular train didn't stop at every single station, so I need to double check before I set off that the station I'm aiming for is going to be hit by the exact train that I'm going to catch. Otherwise, that would be awful. Talking about awful things, when I got to Cascais, I couldn't get out of the station. It was all electronic barriers with the big with big barriers, and everybody beeped through with their smart cards. And of course, with my Interrail barcode, that wasn't going to work, and it was completely unstaffed. Finally, after about 10 minutes, I noticed there was a lady pushing a broom around on the platform, and I managed to explain to her and show my ticket in terrible Portuguese, and she let me out, which was fantastic. And now I'm here on the beach. So hopefully there won't be barriers like that at the next station when I'm trying to get on the platform, otherwise I'm in trouble. So anyway, let's head off all the way down the bay and enjoy the walk. Well, looking at this view, it's no surprise that in the 19th century, Donna Maria Pia, the Queen Consort, became a regular visitor. And when King Louis I converted the citadel of Cascais into his seasonal residence, it sealed the town's position as the first tourist resort in Portugal. And it's nice to see there's quite a lot more people getting some exercise this morning. The walking is certainly very easy, and the Estoril Sol apartment complex, which was built on the site of an old 1960s hotel, is locally, I suspect, either a love it or loathe it structure. And it doesn't take very long to come upon Monte Estoril station, and there's trains going through too. And behind the station is the 5-star Intercontinental Hotel. Well, I suppose we have to keep on going down the line round to the next bay, which is overlooked by the castellated 17th century Forte da Cruz beach castle, which is now a prestigious wedding venue. But it's also quite a nice place to sit down and enjoy the view. You know, every turn on this walk gives you another vista. It's magic. And of course we can also look back to where we've come from. And finally there's some steeper steps offering just a little bit more of a challenge. And the view of the bay from halfway up is good. And then the view from the top, well, maybe even a bit better. However, this climb means the coast path will now be replaced by walking next to a busy road. Oh well, Johnny, you'd better suck it up and keep moving. Well, there's still the odd glimpse of the sea, but mostly it is all about fast-moving traffic along this section. But at least there's the promise of seeing a few passing trains. And we're into San Pedro de Estoril, which is where I shall once more pick up the train. Now, I could go on, but the next section is all by the side of the road anyway. But at least this last bit along the cliff top is off the road. And there's our last view of the sweeping bay all the way down to Cascais. Now for a short walk through the back streets up to the station. I'm in good time for the train, which will leave me time to walk through Lisbon to Santa Apollonia station when I get back to the city. Although my afternoon train for Faro will be leaving from Lisbon Oriente station. And that will be another video that you surely do not want to miss for both architecture, interesting trains and great scenery. But right now I'm just pleased to see that this subterranean little concourse does not feature those automated barriers designed to thwart the intrepid interrailer. And whilst I mention tickets, my research shows that a return for the line would have cost me €4.80, which I suppose is a fair price. And here we are by one of their charming station signs.
And that's it, we're at San Pedro with, what, let's have a look, 8 minutes to spare, and I stopped over there for a nice coffee and a trip to their toilet. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little ride out walk back on the lines just out of Lisbon. And if you did, then give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as I release a video every Friday with little bonuses like this one on a Monday. So yeah, subscribe and you've got less chance of missing them. But in the meantime, from Estoril, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And if you've not already seen it, then click here to see how I got from Porto to Lisbon the previous day on the tilting Alpha Pendular Express service.